Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4th and 19 Tennessee Vols Fans Podcast. And we are now less than a month from kickoff for the Vols against Furman on September 5th. As always, I am Jeff. I'm joined by Mike. I'm joined by Stryker. Guys, less than a month away.
Man, you can smell it in the air. Actually, it smells like rain because it's raining here in Knoxville right now. So, but it's in the air. I mean,
If it
fall
rains during the
camps.
Furman game, you're right on.
Right, there you go. I mean, we're in the fall camp. Not sure when pads go on. I think it's their next practice. I could be wrong. Phew, man, let's go, dude. It's just a different vibe in the air.
It really is. I mean, I know it's still August, it's still the heart of summer, but like you said, Mike, you can feel that fall air coming. Even though we know the first month of football, it's still like 90 degrees outside.
Way too hot.
Striker month out, how you feeling?
Getting excited. Watch some of the highlights from day one, day two. Listen to a couple of interviews. Ready for the update on college football 27.
Yeah, the
Um,
one that'll add all the new players, right?
exactly.
Could
I want to
Tennessee's
see.
starting quarterback be in that mix?
Well, it's definitely a possibility.
Well, I like that you brought up fall camp, which started this week. What impressions are you reading right now? What highlights are you seeing? What have you taken away from this first, I guess you would say, half week of fall camp?
I mean, if we're being real, it's been what, like three practices.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a full week of fall camp, but the first couple days are just press and everybody
Right.
arriving. They don't actually hit the field, and they did not actually hit the field until Wednesday.
Yeah. Things I'm hearing, the tight end position is a little bit deeper than we thought. Still
Yes, it's Luca
unproven.
Wolf.
Yeah, it's still unproven, but it's a little bit deeper than we thought. Deshaun Brame had a pretty spectacular catch the other
Yep.
day for the touchdown. I did see that. There's still kind of question marks on that defensive side, but I mean that's pretty typical, I guess, with the Jim Knowles defense. Still figuring out pass rush and what the heck we're gonna do with Arion Carter's suspension, which is still stupid, by the way. Did I say that out loud? My bad.
No, that's fine. The NCAA, you think the NCAA will wiretap you?
Probably just because I live in the state of Tennessee and I'm a Vols fan.
That is where they would put their resources, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not nothing shocking with the quarterback battle. But I mean, it is routes on air, so
Mhm.
I mean, take that for a grain of salt. Mike Matthews, they say, is catching everything. Travis Smith's a huge individual as far as wideouts goes, what I've heard. But yeah, that's not too much can be said, early on. Let's get some pads, let's get some hitting, and let's get that first scrimmage and see where we are after that.
Yeah, I like that. Striker, how you feeling about fall camp? What have you read? What have you heard?
I listened to an interview with McIntyre. It was pretty bland. Didn't really say much. Just he said exactly what he was supposed to say for the most part. Wasn't a whole lot of personality to it, but other than that, it's just been, I think the uh, linebackers coach had said he was really impressed with what the training staff had done so far with the players, and they look bigger, look stronger. They haven't got into the pads yet, so it's really hard to tell too much. I know he said that he thinks that the defense is going to be deeper than they anticipated, and that Amari Campbell's done a great job of kind of being a silent coach on the field and helping them understand where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing.
What is a silent coach?
Like he doesn't say it on the field, but like
Hmm.
the way Ian explained it was like he'll pull players over to the side and kind of um,
Ah,
explain things in a one-on-one setting as opposed to calling out people on the field.
I like that early on.
I like that too. He's building that trust with them without embarrassing them, I guess. That's a good strategy. Well, I know we're looking at the defense. It's good to hear that the depth is there, and it sounds like that Derek Owings effect is real. The players we've heard do look bigger, stronger, faster, but all eyes, as they have been for most of the offseason, are on the quarterbacks. And guys, we have previewed each unit on this football team except the quarterback position. We saved that one for last, but today we're going to do that. And right now it does seem like it's between two quarterbacks. Will it be George McIntyre? Will it be Faison Brandon? Could it be somebody else? So we are going to preview that. Guys, do you think that this is the decision on Heupel, this quarterback decision? Is this a make or break for this season?
Yes, this is a big important decision. It could be make or break for the season. If it breaks the season, Heupel's definitely in the hot seat next year. If it makes, then I mean, quarterback whisper has done it again. So
Well, we'll find out. And in the meantime, we're going to preview that. We're going to give our own opinion, that Joe Schmo fan opinion that we're so good at. We're going to talk about this quarterback battle, who we think will be the starter, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and what does this say for this 2026 football team as a whole. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break. It's 4th and 19. We'll be right back. And we're back on 4th and 19. And guys, it all comes down to the quarterbacks. So I know we want to dig in and start talking about specific individuals in this unit and who's going to be the guy. But first, as we've done with every unit, as a whole, how would you rate the QB room coming into the season?
questionable.
Fair enough. Striker, what you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we were looking at CFB 27, it would have like question mark, exclamation point, because it's either gonna be, I think it's either gonna be phenomenal or it's gonna be no one knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big worries. I mean, yeah, there's that idea that this could be phenomenal. We could meet the quarterback of the future. There's also the chance that we just have to build this system around the quarterback, but so much goes through that position. You know, it's not just making throws or reading defenses. It's managing the offense. And in Heupel's system, a lot of it, I imagine, is managing the pace of the offense. Probably takes some kind of feel. You would hope. So I think the you guys said questionable. Stryker said it's kind of up in the air. I think it is. I'm just going to say it's inexperienced, not just for them. It's also for us. We haven't seen them. We got such a limited picture of McIntyre last year. I really have no memory of a single pass he threw, because most of it was, in the extreme ends of garbage time because he was third string last year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this year he is at least guaranteed second string, I would imagine. But as we know, the battle is between George McIntyre and true freshman Faison Brandon, who Stryker pointed out has yet to be added to College Football 27. So, guys, GMAC versus Faison. We'll start with GMAC because I think it's kind of a tale of the tape between these two. Um, it's going to be a battle that goes through fall camp. It could be a battle that goes through the first couple games of the season. We'll talk about it. But George McIntyre, redshirt freshman, Let's start with his strengths. What are his strengths right now that he would bring to this quarterback battle?
I mean, it's hard to say, and that's on both of them really, just because, like you mentioned, we haven't seen really either one. Um, you mentioned he was McIntyre's third string last year, so it's like we had Joey, then we had Merck for whatever, and then it was GMAC. I mean, I remember him getting in the ETSU game. I don't remember him getting in anything else. I'm sure he did, but I don't recall it. um, by that point in time, not a lot going on the field. Then that game was obviously well in hand. A couple of handoffs here, a couple of handoffs there. It's all unknown. I mean, he's like 6'6", which is great size for a quarterback, but that's it. He doesn't have the body mass or muscle mass to. I mean, athletes are different. I mean, as long as you can do what you're supposed to do, I mean, your body might be okay. I feel like another year with Derek Owings would really help him out,
Yeah.
as far as putting the weight on. But I mean, he was a highly talented recruit for a reason. Lots of people wanted him. Um, we got him. Um,
Yeah, who did he choose the Vols over? Bama was one of them, I think,
I think
correct?
Bama was in it. I don't recall,
He
who
was
else it was.
he was a four-star recruit, one of the top 20 quarterbacks in that class, I think.
Yeah. I mean, state of Tennessee guy, so that makes
Brentwood. Yeah.
even better that we kept him in state. It's just there's just so much unknown. Some of the things I guess I did hear was he doesn't have a lot of zip on out routes, so that automatically makes me think of Matt Sims against Oregon,
Oh my gosh. Well, that was the slowest out route
or
ever
Rick
thrown.
Dawson against South Carolina. But again, that's also on air without live bullets, people coming at you, hitting you. Um, but I mean, he's got a year in the system, but I feel like the system's changing to benefit him. So, it was a different system with Aguilar than it will be with McIntyre. So, I mean, like, I will give Hypo credit with that he always does, coach to what he has instead of trying to force everything to be the way he wants it to be. Um, yeah, it's just so many unknowns. I don't think McIntyre could run. Maybe he can if it's like north and south. Um, this is one of those reasons that I'm glad I'm not making millions of dollars to make a decision.
Yeah, it is a really big decision. It seems like there's a lot to weigh, and we're just summarizing some kind of tail of the tape thing here. Heupel said he's going to look at every single aspect of their game, look at every throw to influence this decision. Striker Mike mentioned a year in the system for GMAC. He also has, I would imagine, more familiarity with the wide receivers, particularly Staley, particularly Matthews. He was practicing with them back in the spring. What do you see as GMAC's strengths?
Well, traditionally, you would think a year in the system, he's going to understand it better. Um, he's going to know the playbook better, and he might have some continuity with the receivers and O line. But you don't know, not being inside of the system, you don't know how much effort he put in that first year. Did he go into his freshman year, as a lot of us do? You know, he knew he wasn't going to be the starter. So was he putting in the effort? He didn't know. He didn't know coming into this year that it was going to be him versus another freshman.
Right.
At that time, there was still the possibility of Aguilar coming back. He didn't know that ahead of him was going to transfer.
Or if they were going to get somebody out of the portal because they at least tried.
Right. So, I mean, your hope is as a, you know, I think he was like the 13th QB in his class. You got to think that being that highly touted, that he was putting in the work, and he's not just trying to play catch up. But you don't know. I think Heupel is not going to let much of the media in on the quarterback battle until he makes a decision.
That would be,
But
yeah,
he's
he doesn't
all,
let the media in on anything. So,
yeah. Well, and he's traditionally, and he said it in the past, is, when he makes a decision, he sticks with his decision for better or for worse. It's the hope is that he picks the better one to start and it doesn't turn into, Joe Milton 2.0, where Joe Milton was brought in and was the starter and then got benched.
well, he got hurt first, and
Yeah.
then Hendon just came in and took over.
Yeah,
And
but the initial thought was Joe's our starter.
yeah,
I
well, I mean,
mean,
we look back at that, and I remember everybody saying, if you could only see Joe Milton in practice,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
didn't
he
they
was
say
lights
he's,
out in practice. Yeah.
yeah, they say he was like the greatest practice quarterback that they'd ever seen.
well, and that may be the case, but it was a different story on the field.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Practice guys and then gamers. And then
Yeah,
turned
and
out to be a gamer.
Hendon Hooker was a gamer.
Well, it's just like Dobbs. Dobbs was a
Yeah.
gamer,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dobbs was
Horrible
definitely a
practice
gamer.
guy, but was definitely a gamer.
And
and
that's the hard part.
yeah, you don't know that until you get on the field. But I would say that's probably one of Heupel's downfalls is that, you know, or one of the negatives is he's going to ride with his decision, make or break, until proven wrong.
Well, and that's the thing is, how long would he ride with something if it were going poorly? We didn't have to worry about that in 2021 because Milton got hurt. So we did have to deal with the frustration of, I don't know. I know it was only a couple of deep balls he missed against Pitt, but it felt like a million.
Five.
It was five deep to wide open receivers.
Five.
Yeah, but that's all we had to put up with. And it was Hendon, and he could hit those deep balls. Okay, so GMAC we've discussed has some strengths a year in the system, but is that system the same? He does have that familiarity with the wide receivers. He is 6'6". What are and that may lean into one of his biggest weaknesses in this quarterback battle, but what are his weaknesses? And the one I was saying it was leading into is possibly from what we've heard, physically he might be the less gifted of the two between him and Faison Brandon. Is that accurate to say?
I mean, just based upon what I've, heard and what little I've seen, I would say, yeah, that is accurate.
So what are his weaknesses besides, he needs to put on a little muscle and maybe not enough zip on the out route, which with a wide split offense, now granted, we don't know how many wide splits they're going to run this year, but if they do, that can be a big disadvantage.
I mean, I think it's hard when you're young to be a vocal leader. But I mean, if you've been here longer than the other guy, that should be easy. You should be the vocal leader. Like you're the oldest quarterback in the room right now. I mean, yeah, granted, what Stobbs played or is old, maybe a little bit older, played a little bit of Colorado or whatever. But like he's transferred in, to Tennessee or whatever. Like McIntyre's been here for, two spring practices now. You know, he should have somehow, some way have already taken the reins and hey man, this is me. Let's go. Let's ride. Like if Faison is that close to him, it may just be time. Hey, Mac, we gave you an opportunity. Thank you, but we're going with this young guy.
Oh, that's a good point. Striker, is that a weakness as well? That I know it can be a strength, but is it a weakness that McIntyre already has a year in the system? Because if Faison comes in and he's just as good, if not, you know, or at least pretty close, does that give Mac a disadvantage? You talked about him putting in the work, I guess is what it comes back to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, I mean, Mac really doesn't have any significant game time. So that it's pretty much a wash in terms of, they're both on pretty level playing field with the exception of Mac should understand the playbook better.
Hmm.
Now that doesn't mean that Faison couldn't have came in and if he comprehends and understands what he's looking at, that's not going to take him very long to catch up to Mac. And if he's got more athletic ability, you've got to also consider the upside. If he's more mobile, if they're roughly the same accuracy wise, roughly the same playbook comprehension, then it really boils down to who's the rest of the team listening to, who gives you that extra ability to make plays with your feet.
Yeah, and that's a good point and leads us right into the next phase of this tale of the tape. We come to phase on Brandon, true freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, not quite as tall as GMAC. I think they list phase on at about 6'4", but he's you could say a bit broader in a sense. They have him listed at about what 220, 225 pounds right now, and he's only going to get bigger.
Right.
So let's talk about his strengths. I mean, is the strength the raw physical talent that we keep hearing about? Is it that as a true freshman, he might have a higher ceiling than Mac? While Mac may have been the 13th ranked quarterback in his class, I believe Faison was anywhere from 3 to 1, depending on what publication you read. And he also brings a dual threat ability. So it's probably a redundant question because I just outlined what I think some of his strengths are. But what do you think are the strengths of Faison Brandon?
I mean, he looks SEC ready.
Is that just looking at photographs of him, or
A little bit of both.
okay.
Because I mean, more zip on the ball already.
Yeah,
Um,
who was it? TK Keys said the ball sizzles when he throws it.
yeah,
That he came back to fall camp and was throwing it at a higher rate of speed.
yeah. How smart is Faison? Again, I don't know him from Adam Housecat. I do know he missed some time in senior year and then came back in. I'm pretty sure won a state championship. So
Hmm.
he's if anything with football, if you're missing time, you're in the playbook, you're in the meeting rooms, you're still studying concepts, game plans. If he's still getting that and still able to help, lead his team to a high school championship, in my opinion, it seems like he's got it going on upstairs. So, so that's got to be a strength.
Which is a big thing in a hypo offense, which
Yeah,
at least 2024 wise and a bit in 2025 can really rely on the RPO,
yeah,
which relies a lot on a quarterback's ability to process quickly.
right, right. So, I, it, obviously it's hard to make the decision. It's hard to really answer the question just because I don't know the guy. I've never talked to him, never met him, things of that nature. But just from what I've seen and heard, it does seem like he has going on upstairs. A little bit more gifted in the athletic department. Um, it's a little bit, gifted physically. If it's close, I mean, take your lumps with the freshmen. I mean, granted, they're
And
both freshmen, but
well, that's what we talked about. That
yeah,
the way people seem to describe it, and have even described it since before spring, was that he had a higher ceiling,
yeah.
and that might be the reason you invest early. Striker, what do you see as Brandon's strengths besides his last name?
I mean, it's strong, and that sets you apart. but I think it may be the intangibles. I know one of the big differences that I've read several different times is that Mac is all business. He comes from I think his grandfather coached at Vanderbilt. His dad coached at Colorado and now coaches at FIU. He is very, you know, this structured in that regard. I've heard that Faison is a little more fun.
Hmm.
Um, even, I mean, that's kind of been the comments from the wide receivers too, and some of the teammates is that, you know, he's just a fun guy to be around. And that's kind of what you got from media day this week too. I know I was saying earlier that Max interview was, you know, it was exactly what he was supposed to say. There was nothing extra. It was very dry. Faison talked a little bit more about, you know, when he first started playing football, he didn't want to play quarterback. He wanted to play wide receiver. Didn't start playing quarterback until I think his seventh grade year. And that was because of an injury to somebody. And then he started to like it a little bit and it got a little bit more fun. And he understood that what he needed to do a little bit better. You know, he would, he could describe things in a little bit better detail as opposed to just giving you the answer that you want or that's
Hmm.
expected to give. So I can see that, you know, he's probably a little bit better of a storyteller. Max just there for business. So, I mean, that does play a dynamic as well when you're building rapport with your teammates and stuff too. You've got the legs. I think, you know, he's considered a dual threat quarterback, and I think Mac was more of considered a pocket passer. So you've got to think the intangibles that he might bring give him that edge a little bit. There wasn't really anything this week to show you differences in passing styles or anything like that. I mean, so I don't know that he might have a better arm. I don't know that just yet. I think we'll know that better in the next week or two. And you'll start seeing probably some trickles from unnamed observers at camp and whatnot.
And ones that weren't there at all.
Yeah, probably.
Not that we would ever do that.
I mean, I'd do that if they let me.
Oh, you go to camp?
Yeah.
Get you a
I
press
mean,
pass.
yeah, give me a press pass. I'll go.
Hmm.
It's not far from here.
Might have to miss work.
No, that is work.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so definitely know about Faison's strengths. They've been mentioned. Anytime a recruit this touted is coming in, you're going to hear about those strengths. But aside from inexperience, what are you hearing about any weaknesses in his game? Or is it just he hasn't seen the speed of the SEC yet? And like as Mike said, with those live bullets flying at him.
I mean, that's a weakness for both of them right now.
Hmm. I mean, at least Mac's seen the speed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That can kind of go away in a live scrimmage if Jim Knowles' defense is where it needs to be. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just inexperience again on both sides. Like none of them have done this at
Yeah.
any kind of high level yet. I mean, yeah, they were graded in high school, but like this is SEC ball. You know, Furman is what it is. Both of them should play. Going, to Atlanta, Georgia Tech, night game, ESPN. I mean, that's when we're going to find out who's great in practice and who's a gamer. I mean, until that, you just got to do, what coaches tell you to do, what's asked of you, learn what you can, get better at what you can't. We really don't know what that is. So that first scrimmage will tell us a lot possibly if we get that kind of information, if Heupel doesn't keep it close to the chest. uh we won't know anything until scrimmage time.
Striker, do you think Faison's weaknesses differ all that much from GMAC's weaknesses? Just really just inexperience.
Well, I mean, it's both an experience, and then I would say there's some concern coming off an injury. Obviously, I think he played 6 games um, and was healthy and fine. That would be my only other concern.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, we haven't heard anything yet, though, that there's any
yeah, we've
concern.
not heard about any injuries, and Tennessee is notoriously tight-lipped when it does come to
Yeah.
injuries. Last season's a prime example of that. I still think for the Furman game, he's going to name Mac the starter.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Hmm.
I think just to whether it's to even to boost his confidence or
A lot of fire.
yeah, to light a fire. I think it'll have more of an effect on Mac just because he is business. It's straight business for him. That
Interesting.
I think that might. I think if he names Brandon the starter for Furman, that
You,
the
you think that would crush
the
Mac?
I think the mind games would start getting on him, and if Brandon gets the start for Furman, I don't think Mac is going to see much time, and if he does, I think it'll be a blunder.
Hmm. Real quick, guys, is there any chance a third candidate emerges, like a Ryan Staub, or are they relegated to third string and beyond?
I mean, if they come in that first, first maybe even the second scrimmage, and it's way more than apparent that they need to be the guy, then yeah, I feel like it opens up, the competition even more. But I mean, it's got to be like lights out, night and day.
Like
This,
Junior Floyd in a supermarket.
yeah, like this third string is way better than we thought they were going to be. That I mean, like it's got to be so obvious and just there's so many variables to it, but like it's got to be like, hey guys, sorry, both of y'all are fighting for second now. Like, and I just don't see that happening.
Striker, any
Yeah,
chance?
I think it would have to be some type of injury.
Hmm.
I don't think he's going to get the time of day unless one of those does go down. And then it could potentially be, especially if they came into this Furman game or the Georgia Tech game and they just interception and fumbles. And I think Staub is who you would bring in to kind of
Calm the
take
waters.
yeah, I don't think he's going to do anything magical, um, but he might not make the mistakes either.
Hmm. As a fan, which is, kind of all we can speak to here, we are not members of the media. We make that very clear. As Mike will say, we are Joe Schmoes just out here spouting an opinion. Guys, how much do you love a quarterback battle like this as a fan? Is it exciting because you're like, oh, we may be meeting the future star of the program? Is it frustrating because there's definitely a lot of ambiguity, lack of clarity, and a lack of like stable direction right now? Or are you just like, get this over with so we can get a quarterback and start playing some football?
I mean, y'all know me. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's all one A, one B, one C. Me personally, like let's get the guy, let's find the guy, let's rally around the guy. You know, um, you know, whatever Heupel's decision is, I think he's earned that. I mean, yeah, we know what happened with Joe Milton hitting Hooker, but all the reports were Joe Milton is doing everything in practice right.
Yeah.
that's all you can base your decision off of, So then it became, if it wasn't for the injury, how long would we have, rode with Joe? You know, you can go back to Dobbs, who was, third, fourth string for a while because he wasn't a great practice player. Lo and behold, injuries in front of him. He's got the opportunity, seized it with his play when the lights were the brightest, never gave it back. You need, like I said, you got to have someone to just take it and go. Um, it is a little bit exciting because this will be your guy for the next 2, 3 years. So
Hopefully, we will
hope
see.
so.
When's
We'll
the last
finally,
time Hendon Hooker was the last Tennessee
yeah,
quarterback to return?
yeah. So we'll hopefully finally have that repeat starter.
And Heupel can finally take a
Yeah,
quarterback to SEC media days.
yeah. So yeah, there's that. Taking a phrase from Mr. Barney Stinson and How I Met Your Mother, new is always better. Faison's new right now. Granted, it's just by a year. Um,
It's that shiny object.
it's that shiny object. It's that new car. It's also, the mysteries of the unknown. Um,
Now you're getting deep over here.
I got a little
Here,
little soul in my old age here.
here we are with football meditations with Mr. Mike Huey.
But it's exciting. It's scary. I mean, it's every emotion that you can possibly think of when it comes to football and your favorite team. I mean, I don't know how to close this. Just make the decision. Let's go with it. Let's ride. Let's let it be what it is. There hasn't been a quarterback battle like this since Brent Schaefer and Eric Ainge.
Yeah, I
Freshmen
agree.
coming in or whatnot. If you've got to have splitting reps in Furman game, 2-2, two drives like former did back then. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Say with the hot hand when it comes to Georgia Tech the next week. I mean, we literally saw how that played out.
Yeah. What's interesting about that too is Stryker mentioning that he thinks GMAC's going to get the ball for the Furman game. If you look at that 2004 quarterback battle you're talking about, and then let's also throw in the 2021. Those are probably the two quarterback battles that most mirror what we're seeing here. One had the freshman, and the other had this Heupel system. Both of the quarterbacks that started the opening game were not the starter going forward. Joe
Yeah,
Milton starts. That opener against was a Bowling Green.
yeah.
He's not the starter by the end of the season. Brent Schaefer started that game in '04 against UNLV and was not the starter by end of season. Is that is it a good possibility that's where we're headed?
I think that's no doubt that's where we're headed. That's just the tradition. We're carrying on the Tennessee tradition of picking the wrong one to begin the year.
So is that why you think Mac's going to get the edge?
No, I think Mac's gonna get the edge because of what I what I think Heupel is thinking is that if he does go with his gut and go
Mm-hmm.
with Brandon, that Mac is going to be useless the rest of the year if anything does happen, and he will transfer.
Stryker, also, I didn't get your opinion as a fan. What is this like for you?
I mean, I agree with Mike to a degree. I mean, it is exciting. It gives fans something to talk about. But I would much rather come into the year knowing I've got a stud at quarterback that I don't have to worry about, and I would much rather worry about some other position on the field. That's not where we're at, though.
Not quite. And it could be that this year's offense is more of a spread power run. Do you see that possible? Like we did in 24 as the QB settles in, we kind of designed something around Deshaun Bishop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
definitely.
I don't think you're going to see a bunch of crazy passing plays and crosses and,
Although you did with Aguilar right out the gate.
well, yeah, you did.
I mean, I feel like Aguilar's
Uh,
strength was his deep ball, though.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We don't know who has the better deep ball between these two.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, Striker, you seem to think that Mac will get the nod against Furman, but Faison will be the quarterback at the end of the season, correct?
Correct.
Mike, what do you think?
Striker, I think going into spring, we were opposites. I think this is the Faison Brandon show. I I just think he's more gifted, bigger, faster, stronger, more zip on the ball, a little bit more intelligent. I think this is Faison's to lose. Whoever plays best in the Georgia Tech game, that's your guy.
Man,
Yeah,
there's a part.
I don't want.
Go ahead.
I don't think Mac should get the starting job.
Yeah.
I just think he will.
I can see that. I can see that, bro.
I also want to hop in and play some devil's advocate because nobody should ever be making poly market bets based on our podcast. What are the odds of a Faison getting the nod and by Vanderbilt, Mac's been the starter for weeks and is just lighting it up?
I mean, injuries do happen.
Okay. So you think the only way that happens is through injury?
I think the only way that happens is through injury.
Yeah, I would concur, and I would say those are pretty low odds. Now, does he start at the end of the year? I think it's a possibility, like Mike said, with an injury, or Brandon is, they're just toasting him in the SEC. He might come back in, but I don't think he's going to be lighting it up.
And then, real quick before we take a break, Heupel pretty much all but said it on Monday. But does the loser, maybe it was Monday, it doesn't matter. Does the loser of this quarterback battle transfer out at the end of the season?
If it wasn't for the transfer rule and the NIL the way it is now, then they would stay. But yeah, no, they're gone.
I, if it's Brandon, I think he may stay a year. But if it's Mac, I think he's gone.
And by if it's Mac, you mean if Mac is second place in this battle
Yeah,
of two? Okay.
yeah,
I could see that. Brandon's still a freshman, still has another year. They could even redshirt him if need be.
yeah. Especially if he redshirts. Yeah.
Well, we have some time to see. It's going to be really exciting the next couple of weeks as we approach week 0 and then into week 1 to hear the reports coming out of fall camp. Striker's going to work on getting that press pass to get us a eyewitness view of this quarterback battle. But until then, we will remain fans, speculate from the outside. But
I
man,
got
we love doing it.
connections.
You got some? All right.
I
All
got some
right.
connections nowadays.
You carry a little water in that town. So,
I might have a connection. One of my head referee for my Thursday game because I got another game on Friday, and it is South Dollar Beard, but it's just a jamboree thing.
go Keys. Go Keys. And you're
But
even going to say go Keys.
but my
Ooh.
referee on for my Thursday game is Josh Briscoe.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, you guys both work on that, and we'll see if you can get us some eyewitness testimony as we move into next week. But this quarterback battle rages on, and we, like you said, both of you said, we won't really know anything till maybe even after the Georgia Tech game. So we'll definitely know who's got zip on the ball, I'm sure, in that Furman game, but we may not know much else because that O-line may keep these quarterbacks out of harm's way, and we hope that they do. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. And, guys, we're going to run down some smaller stories that we might have missed while previewing these football units. So stick around. It's 4th and 19. And we're back on 4th and 19. And guys, it's time to do a little this and that, run down some smaller stories that came out this week. There's some interesting ones. They may not have a huge impact, but they might as well. So we're going to start with a story that came out from the football team or directed at the football team. So Josh Pate, CBS analyst, he's got pretty good following now, I think, among college football fans. He says Heupel should defy the NCAA and play Arion Carter anyway against Furman and Georgia Tech because the NCAA holds no power in his mind and in a lot of minds. Is this a realistic option, or is this just a sports jockey making a comment to get some clicks?
I mean, y'all know me. My answer is a little bit of both.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yes, because this is the stupidest suspension that I think I've ever seen in my life. Like ever. I wouldn't do it because somehow, some way, if you did play him and you had this grand, feels like 98, looks like 98 type of season, you could be penalized for playing an ineligible player.
Well, I mean, and it is, just Furman, and I'm not gonna say and just Georgia Tech because we don't know a lot about Georgia Tech right now,
Right.
but he's not gonna miss any conference games.
Right.
Striker, is this a realistic option, or would that just be playing with fire?
The only way it's realistic is if you get the SEC's backing.
Yeah.
It's a
Uh,
good call.
Otherwise, no, it's just a pipe dream. Um, Heupel's never going to go against the SEC unless he has somebody, with him doing that. He's not one to. I mean, he's already came out and said it was a stupid decision.
And he used
Um,
stronger language than that.
Yes, he
yes,
did.
he did, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
Hmm.
So I think unless you see Sankey jump on that bandwagon as well, he's not playing.
Well, there you have it. I agree. I don't even think it's something you really consider. What's the point in putting your entire season at risk?
Right.
It's 2 games. It sucks, but just get through it. Speaking of football news, Miami transfer cornerback Jedi Richards suffered a season-ending upper body injury during practice. He's a fifth-year senior. Is that it for his college career?
I mean, unless he gets a medical red shirt.
Yeah.
Is
I don't
that
know if he has one
possible?
already, but yeah.
And what does that do to the secondary depth?
I mean, it hurts it. No doubt about that.
Yeah, he wasn't going to start, I don't think, but he would have
Right.
been a
But I
rotation
mean, yeah,
player.
you got to give these guys. I mean, I know Derek Owens has them in the best shape of their lives, but nicks and knacks are going to happen throughout SEC play. So the depth's going to take a hit.
Strucker, you agree?
Absolutely. He was going to be a rotation piece, but long term wise, I don't know that it affects us that deeply.
Hey, last year at this time we had even bigger injuries in the
Yeah.
secondary. Let's
Yeah.
hope that this is not any trend or anything. Moving away from football for a second, the basket Vols brought in another transfer this week based on the NCAA's, or excuse me, the federal court's ruling that NCAA athletes can get a fifth year of eligibility. Jalen Washington, the Vanderbilt forward via North Carolina, has now transferred for the Vols for his fifth season. He's 6'10, 245 pounds. Is this a good pickup and some much needed size on the inside?
It is. Hopefully, he can be like, no one can fully be like Block Para, but hopefully he can be the rim protector that we need. Um, with this whole ruling, I heard somewhere that since 2016, every class has been able to have 5+ years of college, experience playing or whatnot, except for the 2021 class.
Really?
Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but that is Zakai Ziegler's class.
Yeah, you're still dreaming.
I mean, hey,
You want him back.
I love that little guy.
You about to go watch Bet on Me again, aren't you?
I may have to. I did watch It's Not About Me by Rick Barnes, which is pretty
I
good too.
have not seen it yet. How
Yeah,
is it?
I enjoyed it. It's pretty good.
Well, we're talking about Rick Barnes's crew right now. Striker, is this Jalen Washington pickup a big deal?
Oh, I mean, it provides some more depth. I don't know that it'll have much, kind of the same situation as losing Jedi. I
Jedi
don't
Richard.
know. Yeah, I think it's just another rotational piece, which is always nice to have.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is nice to have, especially in with this basketball team coming up with a lot of new faces. Speaking of the basketballs as well, they announced an injury to Tyler Lundblade. Is this anything to worry about? Do you think he'll be ready by opening tip?
I think he will be. I heard about the injury, or I heard about him getting hurt, but I haven't heard really any follow up on it.
Yeah.
That makes me think it's not anything that serious.
Yeah, we haven't heard any
Yeah, the only
timeline.
Yeah.
the only thing I've read so far is that he basically has not been practicing due to a back injury since he's been there. He's just working out with the training staff, trying to get healthy. Barnes says he'll be fine, um, but he's not going to take any chances. So,
Right.
Well, we'll wait and see. Quite a bit of time, I guess, until basketball season, but it'll be here before you know it. Basketballs have also announced two exhibition games for the upcoming season. One at, correct me if I'm wrong, one at Thompson Bowling against Xavier,
Yeah, that one just got added.
and that was on October 15th. Yeah. And then are they going to Cameron?
They're going to Cameron.
How bad do you want to be at that game?
Oh, man. Like as bad as Captain James Carter wants to be in the FBI.
Oh my gosh. It's G14 classified, my friend. What colors would you wear in that? You go to Cameron. You are a Duke fan. You've never been to Cameron, I don't think.
I have
First
not.
time there, they would be playing the Vols. What would you wear?
Probably orange pants and a blue shirt.
very Florida of you.
It is,
Yeah, it is.
but the blue shirt would say Duke on it because that's the only Duke memorabilia that I have.
Striker, how do you feel
F them
about
Gators.
Mike going to a road game for the Vols and wearing a T-shirt of the other team?
It's very conflicting on a fourth
Hmm.
and 19 podcast.
It really is.
Listen, uh, I'm Mike Huey. I'm Huey's Heroes, and I throw the flag on both of you guys. This is my life. You
We're,
only live it once.
we're throwing the flag on you for going to a Tennessee Duke basketball game wearing a Duke T-shirt.
I mean, if it was in
That is a
at Top
personal
Bowling Arena,
foul.
if it
It
was
is
in
a
Top
personal
Bowling
foul.
like it was last year,
It's too
I'd
many
be
men on the field.
it'd be all orange.
There's too many men on the field. You can't be both.
What is
Yeah,
this, Derek Dooley? Get
I
out of here.
can. I can be both
You
because
Derek
that's
against
how I roll.
LSU.
It's remember, this is me, 1A, 1B. Let's
He
like
did
this is how,
say
this is
he
how I
did say
roll.
he's gonna wear orange pants, Striker.
Yeah.
I heard him
Oh man. Well, aside
start
from
talking
that
about World War
disappointment,
II.
yeah, I'm sure. All right, Mike. The week of that game, we're gonna have to know if they found Rommel yet.
Got you.
And then one more story I want to talk about because it's kind of just a rumor at this point. But with the new federal ruling that players can get that fifth year of eligibility, some people are saying Jackson Moy might leave NFL training camp and come back to be on that Vols D line. Is there any salt to this at all?
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. I want to say like a Indiana D tackle just did this as
Hmm.
well.
Do
As
they have
well.
what's the deadline for this? To because they haven't been at fall camp. Can they just join a team?
I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, and neither does the NCAA, because
Big surprise
they're
there.
too busy focused on $427 flight that got paid back by a person that self-reported it to care about this.
I
So
know. Can you imagine one of these NCAA meetings? They're like, hey, people are leaving NFL training camp and coming back for another year of college. What should we do about this? And they're like, guys, Arion Carter got a $427 flight and repaid it. And they're like, former red team,
yeah,
we gotta get on that. We need a task force or a special unit to be on this. Don't
we
worry
got to
about
take care
the
of that first. Who cares about people that have already been drafted or out eligibility and are coming back? Who cares
have
about?
literally hired agents and probably accepted how many free
Yeah,
flights?
who cares about that? We got to get Arion Carter.
hmm Striker, what do you think? Is there any possibility Jackson Moyes on that D line this season?
Well, the thing is, the NCAA did state that players who signed NFL contracts won't be eligible to return. And to my knowledge, he did sign an unrestricted free agent deal with the Rams.
What about these other players that are coming back? Had they not signed anything? They were just working out.
Yeah, I think they were just in mini camps.
So there you go, Mike. There may be. You don't want to break the NCAA's rules.
Obvious coming back. Watch out because of this.
I mean, I don't think anything's
Didn't he play
uh,
5 years already?
who.
Pavia.
His name is not Arion Carter. He's coming back.
God, is that a
Well,
possibility too?
I think the ruling was just anyone who graduated high school in 22.
So
I
there you
think
go.
that I think that was what the ruling was.
So you would have heard already if there were a chance of Pavia coming back. You know this. The college football world would not shut up about it.
Oh no. But he's probably already taken so much money that he'd never be able to pay it back anyway.
That's he can't even keep track of it probably at this point.
Wow.
Well, those are some of the smaller stories that we've encountered this week. Guys, any stories we missed?
Mm,
Mm,
Nothing's coming to mind right now.
Okay.
Couple of season-ending injuries for former Vols and Brazel and Princeton fan.
Yep, did
yeah.
see that. Brazel's rookie
Um,
season is over.
Cooper Ranvier's up on the Lou Groza list.
And did you
Okay.
see who else was on a watch list? Did I see whatever the award is for best long snapper in America? I believe Braden Bennett. Did I say
Oh,
his name wrong?
Brady.
Brady. Brady Bennett. He was up for on the watch list. Best punter long snapper combo in Vols history.
well, hopefully place kicker as well. Can we just say best special teams?
There we go. We'll see who's returning kicks.
I'll take it.
All right. Well, those are some of the stories we missed. Sure, there were more, but we talked about the ones we wanted to talk about. So this is 4th and 19. We're going to take a quick break, come back, close out this episode. And guys, it has been about a month now since EA Sports released College Football 27, and I'm anxious to get some of your impressions a month in. We're going back to the video game sphere for a moment. First, we'll take a quick break. It's 4th and 19. Welcome back to 4th and 19. And guys, before we close out, like I said, we are about a month in since EA Sports released College Football 27. So everybody here's had a little bit of time with it. What are your thoughts right now, Mike? I know you just started getting in on a little bit, so haven't had as much experience as you'd probably like at this point. But what are you guys thinking of the game so far?
Well, right now, like I said, I'm going through Huey's training camp with it. Trying to get caught up with you guys. Talking off air, McIntyre in the game is a little rusty there. Um, I I mean, I enjoy it. It looks great. I
Yeah.
haven't done a deep dive into any dynasty modes or anything just yet. Looking for a few plays that I had in 26 that were kind of give me's.
The money
Uh,
plays aren't there this year.
yeah, I can't find this one. We talked about that off air a little bit. I've found about three or four other ones that I was able to rely on in 26, um, that are still there. Like I said, I gotta find time to do a deeper dive into it.
Striker, you've been getting a little experience on it. What do you think so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've literally just been playing coach mode until they get the roster updates in, just because of enjoying that aspect of it. But there's
Is coach
the
mode
game
new
that
to this year's game?
I believe so. I think they had it in Madden last year, and they added it to college football this year. But that's been fun. Once they get the roster updates and some of the glitches fixed a little bit, I'll head back to regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, it is a
And then
little glitchy.
once we get our dynasty going, that'll be fun. But
Yeah, we'll get a
um,
4th and 19 one going.
it's definitely an adjustment learning the recruiting this year. It's much different.
Yeah, in previous years it was just where are you spending your hours and how much can you learn about a player. Now it's where are you spending your hours, how much can you learn about a player, and where are you spending your NIL.
Yeah, and it's different depending on where you're at.
And I've noticed players will their NIL expectations will grow as the bids go up. So
Well,
you may have you
not
may have
only
a
the players, but the you got to spend NIL money on your coordinators now.
coordinator support staff, you've got to
Yeah.
upgrade facilities.
Interesting.
And all of these upgrades, they have some impact on your players. So if you build like a player development unit, your player's XP will go up at a faster rate.
Yep.
If you build like a recruiting operation headquarters, you get like more hours per week to recruit.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
I,
you got to jump
I
in on
gotta
that,
get
Mike.
I gotta get into this.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree with you about the glitches. It's an interesting thing in the world nowadays. We can talk about this because we're old and remember back in the day when you got the game, that was the final game. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
know, they weren't updating it every couple of weeks like they are now. So what's cool is I guess these glitches can be fixed and often are. Mike, you mentioned that graphically it's probably the prettiest one yet.
Yeah.
Um, is this the best college football video game yet, or is there some in the past? I'm still partial to '07. I look back at that one as one of the best. I know a lot of people look at 14 as one of the best, but
I mean, I'm still a little bit partial to, I guess, the 2010 one with our tailgate.
yeah, an Oregon
Um,
game, I think.
yeah. But I mean, it goes back to what Barney Simpson said. New is always better. So,
Gosh, you were on a Barney Stinson kick. You must be binge watching some How I Met Your Mother.
I mean, it comes on E every Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and you're there, right?
I mean, if ain't nothing else going on.
Well, they did add so the Vols Adidas uniforms are in there now, and they just added dark mode and updated some of the logos around the stadium because it was funny to have the Adidas uniforms on there, and there were still Nike logos on the goalpost on their little helmet graphic, but they've updated all that. But I agree with you, Striker. I think we're all waiting on that big roster update to come. They say it's going to come right before week 0, and that should include all of these new freshmen, which the Vols have plenty of that we want to see. Faison Brandon, I know you want to see some TK Keys on the game and start playing with, in essence, the real team a little bit, at least virtually. You guys looking forward to that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Then we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll start a 4th and 19 dynasty and then board all our listeners with details from it. But in the meantime, guys, we're so close to football season. If you sang Rocky Top right now, the season might actually hear you.
Man,
How's
as it
that
goes,
go?
it goes good old
No
Rocky
Rocky
Top.
Top.
Woo! Rocky
Woo!
Top
Rocky Top.
Tennessee. Go Vols.
Go
Go
Vols.
Vols!
All right, this is 4th and 19. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.